Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel, Angel in Tech. In today's video, I am going to talk about a few websites that can help you prepare for your tech interview. Going off of the previous video, which the link will be up here, I talked about websites where you can practice different Python problems and start implementing what you're learning. For today's video, I will focus on websites that give you more of a real-world scenario, and your goal is to solve set questions using Python or your preferred choice of programming language. The websites and resources that I will talk about offer you an opportunity to learn and to enhance your knowledge to be ready for future interviews. And it's also good sources to just, stay sharp with what you're already learning and what you already know. This video will cover basic detail about these websites, meaning I won't dive deep in and talk about which problems you should focus on or which roadmap will lead you to landing a job. I want to be transparent with you and say that the following websites are what have helped me and others that I've talked to land interviews and get job offers. Now, you're probably tired of me saying this, but I have to tell you, what works for me will probably not work for you, and what works for you will probably not work for everyone else. We are each running our own race, but along the way we deserve to have encouragement, positivity, and additional resources just in case. With that being said, today we're going to talk about LeadCode, AlgoExpert.io, and the Tech Interview Handbook. And with that, let's get started. Cool. So, like I said, today we're going to talk about websites that help you prepare for your technical interview coming up or for future ones that you're going to have. The first one we're going to go over is the Tech Interview Handbook. This is an awesome resource. It gets to the point and will let you know the minimum knowledge you need to be able to stand out in your technical interviews. There is a 4-step guide that this resource provides, and before I get into that, I just want to show you guys how over 500,000 people have benefited from this handbook, and a lot of these people that have used this resource have gotten jobs at FAANG companies, which means they've gotten jobs at Facebook, Apple, Airbnb, Netflix, or Google. I want you guys to read a quick testimonial. I have not been preparing much for my interviews before my final year in university. As I set my sights on my full-time job, I referred heavily to this book about things to prepare and look out for during my application. It has helped me so much in many stages of my application. My personal favorite is the best algorithm practice questions, which is helpful in the future if I want to switch jobs. With this help of this handbook, I successfully land offers from Facebook, Quora, Abnormal Security, and a few more established companies. Highly recommend any tech job applicants to refer to this handbook. So going back, this is an awesome resource. If you have the chance, check it out right now, even if you're not looking to interview yet, or you're just looking for a general idea of what you should have on your resume or under your belt. Take a look. Great resource. But with that, let's get started on their first step. So the first step is they help you have a practical guide to writing FAANG ready software engineer resumes. Quick note, I've used this resource to prepare my resume, and it wasn't for software engineering positions, but I have used it to prepare resumes for data science, data engineering, analysts, and machine learning resumes. So definitely check it out even if you're not looking for software engineering jobs. They talk about what you should have on your resume, the do's and don'ts. They talk about what content you should have on there and what words and all that should be on the resume. So stuff that you don't want to have. You don't want to bore the recruiters or anybody who's looking at your resume. Talks about how to write a professional summary for a software engineer. Again, not just for software engineering, but it also gives you some examples and all that great stuff. Talks about must-haves, good-to-haves. Definitely take a look at this. The link will be in the description. So see, it gives you an example of what you should have as under education. Again, like I said, optimize your resume using this awesome resource, and it will guide you and it will make you stand out. The The second step is coding interviews, everything you need to prepare. So it talks about picking a good programming language that you need to use, plan your time, and tackle topics and questions in order of importance. So you get to learn patterns, recognize patterns, learn different notation and all that great stuff. And then you combine studying and practicing for a single topic. So there's no one good way to learn something. You need to have a good combination, good projects, good problem solving questions that will give you a good understanding of what you're learning. And then it also talks about how to accompany practice with coding, interview cheat sheets to internalize the must-dos and must-remembers. So there's a lot of things that from coding that you would want to understand and want to make sure that it's in your head, so that way it just becomes muscle memory, and you'll be able to be confident in what you're doing. It also talks about how to prepare a good self-introduction and then any final questions. Even if you're doing technical interviews, which is just coding, you want to make sure that you're still being able to socialize in a professional and in a way where the person doing the interview is not left in a weird position where it's like, oh, what am I supposed to say now? Or does this interviewee not have any questions and all that stuff? And then at the end, it talks about where you can try for mock interviews, which I think is pretty awesome. There's a lot of great resources out there that offer you the opportunity to have a mock interview. All right. With the third one is understanding compensation. So this is what happens after you pass all your interviews and you get an offer. This resource will talks about the base salary, the bonus, and it gives you examples of the different types of bonus. Then it talks about equity and stocks. Some companies offer this, some don't, but it also talks about what kind of options they have and how to understand these options. It also talks about signing bonus. So when you sign your letter or your offer, they will give you some type of bonus. So just make sure you understand that. They also talk about any other bonuses and perks offered by the company. Some examples only, and not every company is the same. Just putting that out there. And then they offer you an example of Google and Facebook of how their salary, bonus, and stock options work. And the last step that they have is choosing between companies. So you want to be able to make sure you're ready for the job. If you have 4 different offers, you want to make sure you choose the right one that will best benefit you. So you want to look at their compensation, the products, whether or not that's something you're going to want to do, the company prospects. So you want to make sure that the company is going to grow, that you'll be able to grow, and that all this stuff doesn't affect your compensation in the future. You want to also make sure that you're able to grow within the company and that you're able to, I guess, go from one level to the next level in an appropriate amount of time, but where you're not stuck and you're not having fun and you're not learning. It also talks about company culture. You want to make sure that you're not just going there for the money. Obviously, money is great, but you want to go also somewhere where you feel confident, where you feel like you'll learn, where you feel welcome. It also tells you how to manage a work-life balance. Yes, working is awesome because you do get money, but also life is amazing and you want to make sure you enjoy every moment of it. And then it talks about transfers and mobility. Are you able to transfer from this place to this place, between companies, between locations? I mean, are you maybe not comfortable here or you're relocating? So it talks about how to handle that stuff. But like I said, this is a great resource. I recommend you take a look whenever you can. It will help you and guide you through. But with that, let's move on to our next resource. Awesome. So our next resource that will help you prepare for your next interview is LeadCode. At this point in time, LeadCode has become a standard for a lot of people going into tech, and for those who are still in tech to keep their programming knowledge fresh, LeadCode offers some really cool things. We can take a look in their featured section. You can see that LeadCode gives you a beginner's guide all the way up to machine learning. It gives you an introduction to algorithms, detailed explanation of heap, basic concepts of machine learning. Google interview with the premium, of course, arrays, dynamic programming. We can click on one of these, and so with this you can get an introduction, strategic approach to dynamic programming, common patterns, continued, dynamic programming in a matrix, practice problems. There's also discussions and all that. Of course, you would have to create an account, but this section is free. With a premium subscription, however, you can get interview questions that are used at FANG companies. So again, like I mentioned previously, FANG is for Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Airbnb, Microsoft, Google, all those big tech companies. We can click on one. Obviously right now it's locked because it does require a premium subscription. You won't be able to see it, but if you have it costs up to $40 a month. So if you have that laying around and you want to get questions that are offered at these companies, definitely take a look. In their problem section though, I think this one's great. There are a variety of different topics / paths that you can take to practice coding problems. They have a 75 study plan questions, 40 days to study to crack the algorithms, 2-week study plan to tackle data structures, SQL study plan, dynamic programming, graph theory, binary search. They have a lot of great study plans. They also offer you a lot of questions. Obviously right now they're locked. We do have to create an account and sign in, but they all range from easy to hard, and they have over 200. At a certain point it does cut off and you do need to get a premium subscription, but either way, just by doing maybe over 50 of these in the range between easy and hard, you'll be able to really understand what's going on around here. LeadCode is an awesome resource and I encourage you to check it out. But with that, let's go on to our last resource. So for the last resource that I think will help you is Algo Expert. Their Algo Expert section offers you coding interview questions, data structures, crash course, coding interview assessments, mock coding interviews, and coding interview tips. There's a lot of great things offered in each one of these sections. We can take a quick look. Right here you can get over 100 different type of questions that range from easy to very hard. So like if we take a look at this one, you can get, let's exit this out real quick. So you get the prompt with what you need to solve, sample output, it gives you hints, a scratch pad for you to work. It also offers you solutions and a video explanation, which is really awesome. The package that I really enjoy and that I have used is their machine learning content. I specifically enjoy every single one of these: machine learning crash course, coding questions, large scale machine learning design questions, machine learning quiz, and their interview tips. I have used this to prepare for machine learning interviews, machine learning questions, and all that great stuff. Now this is a paid subscription though, and it's on a yearly basis. Right now as we speak, Algo Expert is $89, but it offers you 160 of the best coding questions, a crash course on data structures, 4 timed coding assessments, which is awesome because in the real world, when you come to technical interviews, your coding assessments are always timed. So having 4 of these and you being able to practice will put you in a great position. Their machine learning expert content is right now $89 as well. It gives you best machine learning coding questions, a timed machine learning quiz, unlockable certificate of success, which is really great, a series of large scale machine learning. I personally bought the Algo and machine learning bundle and have used both back and forth, and it works greatly. I would encourage you to look at this if you have the money and the resource to be able to get this. I highly recommend it. But yeah, these 3 websites should be enough to get you started with interview prep and general prep to stay sharp on your skills. Of course, like I said at the beginning, these resources have helped me, and I believe that they can help you as well. There are a lot more resources on the internet that I did not cover. If you would like a more detailed video on these websites and what you can do and learn, let me know in the comments. If you have a question about these resources and are still a bit confused, feel free to reach me on Twitter at AngelInTech. The links for the 3 websites that we went over will be in the description, as well as my GitHub repo. But yeah, this is it for this video. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with more tech content, interview questions, and projects. Like this video to save in your library, and follow my Twitter. Hope you have an awesome day or night whenever you're watching this. I will see you in the next one. Dream, code, live.